What we have seen in this series is a Boston Celtic team that has been a dominant force defensively. A team that's dominated in the paint all series long. And I know it's only 4 games in, but we have seen the dominance of what defense can do to a great offense. And Steph Curry really has been the only offensive option that Golden State Warriors has been using. Now, Wiggins has played very well defensively and has given them some points, and he played very well last night. But to me, the chance of Draymond Green getting taken out in the fourth quarter yesterday because he's been a liability in the fourth quarter, it really stands out to me on what Steve Kerr is trying to do. Now, obviously, the Boston Celtic team is a very young team. They're a much faster team. And to a Golden State Warriors team that has been the younger team throughout the years, and who would have thought that they would be the older team in this series? This Boston Celtic team has been hitting every single three-point shot that they can get, doing everything they can to stop Steph Curry. By the way, the Defensive Player of the Year has been fantastic against Steph Curry. Even when Steph Curry scored 43 points the other day, he played very well defensively. They keep Steph Curry on the perimeter. The only way Steph Curry is going to beat you is at the three-point line. Klay Thompson, he'd have a good offensive game and a bad offensive game. And Poole has not really been in this series. I don't know what's going on with him, but it has a lot to do with the Boston defense. They've been sensational. So you sit here today, 2-2. Everybody keeps saying that Golden State could be up 3-1. Golden State has not looked good in this series. The better team has been the Boston Celtics. And if Steph Curry wants to shimmy and do the things that he does, and he wants to show off to the fans, and that's great for Steph, he better damn well show that this team is capable to knock off this Boston Celtic team, because to me, what I've seen with this Boston Celtics team is there is no drama in that locker room, as Klay Thompson and Draymond Green love to bring. After they want to talk to the press with the fans booing them, and they love to bring drama to center stage, as we remember what they did with LeBron James.
You can't spell Draymond without drama. So
the Celtic team is a quiet team. They're charged by their coach, who has been fantastic in his first season as an NBA head coach. A GM who's never been a GM before, and Brad Stevens, has put this team center stage in the NBA as a place that you would want to play. And if you're the New York Knicks or the Brooklyn Nets right now, this Boston Celtic team is going to be on top of the Eastern Conference for many, many years to come with their youth, with a Tatum, with a Brown, with a Williams, with any of these youngsters that they have on this team. They've been sensational. And for anybody to sit back and say that Boston has not been sensational throughout the playoffs, knocking off Milwaukee, knocking off the Heat, knocking off the Nets, this is one of the greatest runs we've ever seen an NBA team do throughout the playoffs.
The Celtics will be thanking the Brooklyn Nets for all those first-round picks over the years, too, and for their new head coach, which is the first-year head coach to make the finals in who knows how long. But nevertheless, the Warriors, going back to them, finally showed up in the fourth quarter. That was the big bugaboo for them the first 3 games. They're historically good in the third quarter. Third quarter Warriors. Steph Curry, you were talking about, had the 43 points, and he made a lot of contested shots in that game.
He was the only one.
Marcus Smart defended him well at certain points during the fourth quarter. Even when the Celtics were up, Steph Curry was still making those tough shots to make sure they didn't go on runs. And they just needed some other guys to contribute, and it really hasn't been that way from a consistency factor. Jordan Poole was the best player for the first half of the postseason, and then all of a sudden...
He's fallen off. Andrew Wiggins yesterday, 43 minutes. He was the second best player on this team. 17 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists. After that, you have Otto Porter play 14 minutes, 2 points. Draymond Green, 33 minutes, 2 points. Klay Thompson, 41 minutes, 18 points. Looney, 28 minutes, 6 points. Jordan Poole, 21 points, 14 points. Gary Payton Jr., 10 minutes, 5 points. That's not getting it done. If Steph Curry is averaging half your points every single game and you come out a winner, that just tells you that this team has not been at the top of their game as an offensive team, because there's no reason why Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, 17 and 16 is not bad.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins has been sensational throughout this playoffs and the best defensive player on this team. So I'm going to take Andrew Wiggins out. Those 2 players need to show up. And Draymond Green, shut your mouth. Why are you talking? Stop, even at the end of the game, talking about that we're back in this series. We are back in this series? You mean Steph is back in this series. This is not the Golden State Warriors. This is the Curry Warriors, because it's been Steph Curry and everybody else.
Yep, and a lot of the reasons of Draymond Green coming out of the game were also big parts of the fourth quarter, too. Kevon Looney played very well rebounding in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Otto Porter played well at certain points rebounding in that game. And Draymond Green, nowhere to be found. So So a lot of your teammates had to carry the load for that one, Draymond. But yeah, if they can even get a little bit out of Poole, like we saw in the beginning of the playoffs, and definitely
what is going on with that kid?
Yeah, ever since the middle of that Dallas series, he has not been the same player.
I know at 21 points, when you look at his minutes, he had 21 points and 14 points.
Yeah, he played better.
That's not bad. I mean, that's 14 points in 21 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But he's not that guy that you can expect to give you 28 points. And Klay Thompson, he has been a shell of himself.
He's the fourth option at this point.
He's been a shell of himself.
Yep.
And they gave him a lot of money, man.
Uh-huh.
They paid him a lot of money, and he's missed 2 seasons with the Achilles and then a torn ACL. I mean, he has not been good. And I'll tell you this right now, Boston should be up 3-1. I think they should have won yesterday. I think they had the lead going into the fourth quarter. They looked like the better team. Jaylen Brown, Tatum, they all look good. Tatum, I know you're going to say, well, Tatum didn't have such a great game. 43 minutes, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He almost had a triple-double. Yeah. And then Jaylen Brown, and by the way, played shutdown defense. And Jaylen Brown, 40 minutes, 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. And if you're getting 18 points from Marcus Smart, you're going to probably win those games. Probably going to win those games. The fact that they did not win this game was because Steph Curry had one of those all-time great games that he couldn't miss a shot in the fourth quarter. He was just unbelievable. In the last 3 minutes of that game, it was Steph Curry and everybody else.
Yeah, the Celtics didn't have that, unbelievable type performance from either one of their stars, and that just ended up being the difference. It wasn't necessarily a bad game planning thing. It just was Steph Curry just making tough shots that you're going to see rarely other people make. So the Celtics, I don't think, did anything notably wrong. Just, again, finally got out-rebounded for the first time, but Golden State really had to address that because the Celtics were just dominating them on the glass with Robert Williams and Al Horford the way they've been doing all finals long. But not putting Draymond Green on the court seems to be a much better thing to get rebounds and actually play defense and not get rattled by the Celtics fans crowd that were shouting swear words at them.
Please.
Yeah, okay, Draymond, you're the one that...
How about the Boston fans? I'm so sick and tired of Boston people making fun of the New York fans and attacking the New York fans. How about the Boston fans? We've had so many analysts on our show tell us how rude and disgusting the Boston fans are. To hear some of the Boston fans that listen to the Sports Loudmouths have the nerve to say that New York fans are garbage. I agree with the Boston fans. Draymond Green's an ass. Nobody likes Draymond Green. To do the things and say the things that you're saying on national TV, and you can hear what they're saying. It's despicable. Be professional. If you're a Boston fan and you're going to attack the New York fan, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. The Boston fans need to learn how to have more class. I understand. You see what the Yankees did against the Cleveland Indians. You want to say that they shouldn't be throwing things, or the Yankees throwing baseballs at ex-Boston Red Sox players. Fine, whatever it is. No class. You want to say New Yorkers don't have class? But how about the Boston fans? We all know what happened last year. One of the Boston fans throwing it at Kyrie Irving, had to go to court, and then doing the things on the sidelines to some of the players where you don't see over here in New York. So I'm tired of hearing Boston fans say that Boston fans are not as disgusting as New York fans. Nobody likes Draymond Green. Nobody likes Klay Thompson. We understand that. But have some class.
Draymond, you also created a target to yourself, too, for all the things you've said, too, and dirty plays over the playoffs so far, and in this series, the fouls that they've committed. It's one thing if the Celtics fans were doing swear words to Steph Curry just because he scored 43 points in Game 4. That would be uncalled for. But Draymond, you created a target, and you're the biggest trash talker on this Golden State Warriors team. You're not swearing on the court?
He is the trash talker.
Yeah.
The trash talker of the NBA.
Yeah. Klay Thompson's not creating a target. Steph Curry's not creating a target. You're creating a target. They have every right to do that. I'm not saying racist or derogatory things to you. It's heckling. It's booing. Yeah, there's swear words. You're creating a target.